We're standing on the property of the Raney residence, which has been in the Raney family continuously for 62 years. This property was purchased in September of 1946, 3 years after Mildred, Trout, and Wilton Raney married, period. They married in, period, I'm dictating. They married in Fort Wayne, Indiana, Allen County, and they had their first son out there, Alan, who's holding the camera. Say hi, Alan.
Hi.
When they got back here, they had a daughter, but then they did the best thing of all. They had another son. That's me. Okay. Dad took a long while at Schenectady. He came up here alone first, and he wrote back excitedly that he'd found the dream house. Well, it's a cottage on the lake, and it's pretty much as it was back at that time. It started with purple shingles, but we'll talk about that in a second. Behind me is Ballston Lake. This is where the lake is on. We're going to walk down to the lake, which we can't right now because it's swamp, but we're going to fix it for resale. This is a 3-mile long lake. It's beautiful. Plenty of fish, spring fed. Gorgeous piece of property, and it turns out it was the property that drew Dad, being a farmer, and the property was always the best thing about this place. Okay, so let's go see the Raney home, because very soon this isn't going to exist. Okay, I'm going to cross the street here. Okay. Come on up the steps. Alright, just keep it on wide and then you won't have to worry about it. Okay? I'm being bit by mosquitoes, which is a common hazard here, especially towards evening. Over here are the dew salts. They've been our neighbors the entire time I've been around, and one of their cousins owned it before them. Over here are some more dew salts, and they built their house, their Bonnetonopusses, later on. But for most of our childhood, there was nothing all the way down to that curve down the road where there's some old graves from the Revolutionary era, people by the name of Howe, H-O-W. Back over here, you can see where the Raneys lived on a rural route. This used to be almost a dirt road. It was paved. Now it's double lined like a highway. But there's been a lot of building on this road over the years. Out front here, you can see the famous maple tree. Go ahead, keep turning like that, and you'll see the famous maple tree, which is always beautiful in the fall. And it still stands. You can see little pits in the ground here. That's because there used to be elm trees here, and the pits still remain. A beautiful line of elm trees killed by the Dutch elm disease in the 60s. Turning back around, you can see this pine tree here. It used to be a baby pine tree. Dad used to put Christmas lights in it all the way to the top. As you can see, that would be a chore now. It's as tall as the one in the back, which is older. He also put Christmas lights on these bushes. You can see the house has now got pink shutters. Originally it had purple ones, and the driveway came up beside the house. But Dad inherited some money upon the, well, I guess I don't know exactly how he came by this money. He won a home show and went to Hawaii, but he used that for his trip. He got some money somewhere along the line, but he quickly ran out of it. But his heart was in the right place. He paved this place, made beautiful flower gardens, which are now overgrown, and started what the family always wanted, expanding the house to build an addition, which this little window area was the only part that was ever used, and it was Alan and my bedroom for a period of time in the 70s. The rest is a garage area that was never used as a garage, just a storage place for Dad's junk. It's been having tar paper ever since 1963 when it was built. Dad had grand plans and wonderful intentions for his family, but he was too poor to carry them out. Preferred to work in the fields and fix cars and try to keep the family afloat on his limited GE income. Thank you, GE. You can come over here now. Around 1956 or so, the house was repaneled with this yellow asbestos-laden stuff that is going to be heck to get rid of.
Yellow? I thought pink.
Or pink, excuse me. Around the same time, this front room, which was a porch area, was made into a front room. And the back area was eventually enclosed. As you can see, it's wood. In the back There used to be an outhouse, but now there's a bathroom inside. The outhouse was in effect until 1958 when I was about 5. Yes, we used an outhouse when we were young, and I recall nicely the story of the time the cat came up from underneath Alan and pawed his butt, and he screamed only to look down and see a cat meowing at him from down underneath. Come on this way.
I think the screaming was when it happened to the girls. Me, I just got out of the way.
This is the Raney house. This is the famous front porch we used to, you know, play What Stone's in My Hand, and you move down the steps and win the race here. Come on in. This is the front room with the wonderful doorbell that doesn't work. The power's been turned off, so it's dark in here. Thank you, Debbie. Okay? So, we come in here, and here's all the books and the bookshelves, and the place is a mess because basically Alan and I have completed going through it today, and what you see is the leftovers we're going to try to give to the church, and some of it's going to be thrown away, most of it. This is the leftovers. This is the front room. If you look at the ceiling, you can see the ceiling tiles have all fallen in from rain. Look over there in the corner, Alan, where the bookshelf. You can really see it there. Yes, this was our famous front room where we watch TV. Here's the dining room. Come on in here.
You're going to have to wait till I get caught up. I'm trying not to make people dizzy.
Stay with me, bro. Stay with me. I'm going the speed I want to go.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to slow it down to my speed. I'm the camera guy.
This is where the dining room table was for much of the time. Sometimes it was over there. Over here where that little bookshelf is used to be a large kerosene stove. And that's where we would heat our rumps every winter morning, because this place never did have central heating. This window always had a nice window bird feeder on it, which I've since put one on my house because we loved it so much, and the grosbeaks used to feed here, and it gave us all delight. But this was our dining room, and in the old days, it was probably the center of attention, that room. This is the kitchen, which you can see the nice early General Electric chrome steel stuff, which is worth something for a junk dealer, but we don't have the time or energy to get it out of here. We have cupboards which were put in later. This window opening here to the garage was actually never filled in. It's plastic here. Plastic glass. Refrigerator was right in this alcove, but now it's a little thing here. Actually, we had 2 or 3 refrigerators. Usually we had to have 3 to keep one working. If you come out here, you can see the front. This is the front room where Dad used to sleep. It used to be a back porch. The dogs and cats would stay out here.
It's where the jars are now.
One time they'd get up on the roof, a bunch of them got electrocuted and fell out. Dead cats everywhere.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, because we always did not fix our cats. Then we've got the bed where Dad tended to sleep over here in the corner where this chest of drawers now is. He'd heat himself by wood, and Mom would sleep in another room because, I don't know, for some reason they loved each other, but they just did not sleep together very much. Downstairs, we're probably not going to go down there. It's a basement.
I'll show you the steps.
You want to see the steps? We painted these years ago. The train set was down there. We kept the arrowheads down there, and the cats would always sneak down here into the thing. And
actually, it's light enough.
You know, well, do you want to go down there? You can go down there quickly, but don't waste a lot of time. Just once down and come back up. You can show them the center where the train board was at.
Yep, that's right.
A lot of canning items down there. Mom used to can her buds. And the freezer was down there.
Yeah, we're about here, right next to the shelving unit.
All right.
Yep, and
now there's a door out to what used to be a garage, but it never really was one.
Yeah, that's over here, if you can see it.
Yep.
Yep. The door is right here.
Okay, come on up.
Yep, I'm coming. And there's the hot water. The hot water heater's here. There's pumping mechanisms in this area. And because we had a water well, not in the street, but we had to drill down to it.
Yep, sulfur water in this little lovely house.
Well, at one time it was nice water. Then the 2 houses over, they dynamited the drill there well and opened seam lines of sulfur for us.
Yeah. Wonderful neighbors that we had.
Well, who knew that was going to happen?
This is the hallway.
Yes.
Dad, we used to, and this is our pull-down ceiling.
Right.
Hotter than blazes up there. We kept all our games up there. You can actually climb up these steps. It's empty now.
Yeah. Those steps fold down.
Yeah. And here's where they kept all their blankets in this little area here.
Right. This is what Dad added.
This is the bathroom that I told you about. It was erected around 1958, around then. And here's our one and only bathtub with all of our nice little sulfur water stains and everything else ugly. And our sinks and our cool mirrors that are three-way.
I'll get around.
And let's see, you come down over here, and now here's the bedroom. Here it is, folks. This is what you've been waiting for.
This is the bedroom
One schoolroom.
Yeah.
One house, one room, schoolroom. Well, we didn't make that. Alan did, but I didn't make that. This was our bedroom. This was the place where 5 kids slept.
Judy.
2 on a double bed, 1 on a single bed, and 2 on a bunk bed. That'd be Alan and me. And we would tell ghost stories and throw stuffed animals at one another, and routinely, about every other night, Dad would come in and pull kids out by the arms and spank them. And guess who he spanked the most? The one who was the troublemaker. I'm not telling you who that was.
I don't remember that being pulled out. I do remember him coming to the door and yelling at it.
Alan would listen to his shortwave. I would laugh as that particular person was being spanked. And that infuriated Dad, and that particular person would get spanked harder. Okay? Because it was me. Okay, let's go. All right. So now...
You think Rich might like his extra spankings?
I think I'm getting a lot of therapy out of this. Okay, so come on and follow me. I want to take you out around the back. I kid this, you know, but Dad and Mom, we had a great childhood. Even if they used to guard us with our air rifle, if we moved, they would shoot us.
I think that is adding a little bit more than the truth.
This door is nicely not working. Let's go out here. This is the side. And Alan, you can get out here and get a scan of the house from the back.
That's Richard's car. Mine's hidden up back in there somewhere, and there's a little shed back there where we got our remaining tools.
We're going to get to that. Get the house here.
Okay, I'm going into the sunlight, so it might be a little hard to pick up.
All right.
Okay. It's darkening up because of the sun.
I'm standing right now where the grass is greenest. Yes?
And he's still standing on the surface.
This is the septic tank, which is about to be killed.
Yeah.
I can't tell you the delight of digging this sucker out. Alan and me did it, and we dug all this path down to the garage. I don't know why we did these things, but we did these things.
Yeah. Because our dad told us to.
Because we were told to.
Oh, one other thing. What? This is a memory for also Tim and myself. When we had to do a redo on this, redug some lines out. It's one of the better memories Tim has of Dad, because he helped him out. He was helped digging as well. So.
All right, he got to family tradition.
Yes.
And there used to be a basketball board here. It was pretty crummy, but it was pretty cool too.
Yes.
And it's gone. Tetherball was here. It was gone.
Yeah.
Alan and I, speaking of cutting and clearing, we cleared about a half-mile swath straight back through that woods there.
Yeah.
Straight back to the property line, because we were in a property dispute with these deuce out.
Right.
Over here, this is where the wonderful piece of
where part of his garden was. Also before that,
and here is the horse shed.
Yes, there's a horse shed.
Right over here is where Lady, a broken down Welsh pony that we got at age 12 years old and walked all the way home, served us well for about 2 years before she croaked. Her dad had to shoot her, I think.
Yeah, we bought her somewhere on the Charlton Road, somewhere out near Good Street.
Then right here is where she was housed, and this building was up until about a year ago, as well as this other outbuilding, which was the famous chicken coop. It actually had chickens in it at one point.
Yes.
One time I hid a bottle of booze in it, but my wonderful little sister Liz, who could just barely walk, dug in and started walking on my bottle of booze. Well, my dad had fun with me that night. Here's the chicken coop. Not much left.
This is where it disappeared to.
Here's the garden, mostly flowers, and now we have the wonderful grapevines.
Right.
They're still there, though they're not producing anymore.
the problem is there's little bugs that come along and,
Yep.
and put little larvae in them, like
Behind
little
him
wires.
were rows of strawberries and peas, and we'd plow this, and Dad was a frustrated farmer from Fort Wayne. He didn't want to be a draftsman. He wanted to be a farmer.
Right. These are
He
blueberries
spent all his
here.
time out here. He loved it. He plowed in. But here where this tree is, and right in front of it, was the famed car, which we always wondered which would go first, Dad or the car. And I never noticed until Dad died in 2005 that this particular piece of property was gone. He got rid of the car he was supposedly saving for me all those years. Not that I didn't want, but he did want to part with it to junk dealers. He finally knew it, but that was his death knell. When he realized he had to get rid of the car, he must have known something none of us knew. And when I came out here to find the car, it was gone. 39 Plymouth.
This is a wild cherry tree, and that's his black walnut trees that he brought back from Indiana and planted out here.
And there's the Deusalt's house.
Yeah.
Over there, Bimbo, the black dog, used to bite me every year on my birthday. Wonderful Bimbo. Okay. Now we come up here.
Oh, this is a tool shed. A little closer to it. That's a recent addition.
Yep. This is all, looks like ground and little shrubbery forest, but actually it was all farm fields.
Right. Raspberries
Back
here.
To the real fields, which are still amazingly clear, and I don't know who's cutting it, maybe Jamie.
Jamie, and the last run done was done by Matthew. Liz's
got
chop.
An idea. Let's walk in a little bit, not get too much poison ivy on ourselves.
Right.
We can see this wonderful forest. Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Probably nowadays, whoever owns this house next will want to be thinking about clearing more of this out.
Of course, the house is going to be torn down. They own the property, but they will never own the house.
The house is about to be torn down. It will be torn down in September of 2008, 62 years after it was purchased, and a few years after it was probably built.
Yes, they purchased, the previous owner had it as a camp. And we're walking back through woods, but when we moved in, or at least my earliest memories, there was woods, and then you went back beyond the woods, and you hit a big pasture land. Well, this is, most of this is trees that have come up since.
Except a lot of them were planted by Alan and me to do a Boy Scout project of pine trees, white pine trees. So these aren't them. This is one of the places Dad always told me I could build a house if I ever wanted to buy a piece of property. Back here in this nice little pine forest, not too far back behind the Raney house, and this could be where the new owner, whoever gets it, builds a house, or it might be in that garden area more likely that we already passed through.
Right.
But the property goes back at least another distance that we've already come from the lake.
Do you want to go any further back?
Nah.
Mosquitoes
No
are
point. It's all
eating
mosquitoes.
us.
All right.
This is why we wear
Alan,
long
it's time
pants
for you.
and long shirts in this here.
Alan, I'm going to start filming you, and you can talk your memories on the way back, all right? I'm pretty much done, all right?
Okay.
All right, go for it. Tell us, what do you remember about this place?
Well, as I was mentioning, this area back here, most of this was meadowland, and then over the years some brush was growing up and it's turned into a forest. In the far corner, if we'd kept going, that was meadowland, and I remember my sister Judy and I building a little campfire back in the meadow after
I did that too.
After she had done her Sky Farm, she had
Oh,
one
yeah,
summer
yeah,
when
yeah.
she was at Sky Farm as a counselor, and that was right near the corner. And since then, it's turned into the swamp
Really?
on the corner on the left rear.
But behind that swamp is a rise, and that's where we
Yes.
had our camp, Indian camp, me and the Mahaliks.
Of course, that was on somebody else's property.
But I'm not so sure, but maybe it was.
Yeah, I think you'll see a stone fence back
All right.
there.
They're developing that whole back of the property and by other people, and some of it's landlocked Dusalt property,
Right.
but beyond it, there's going to be a whole new development, and
That's dairy country that's turned into housing developments. And that's coming in off of East Line Road, which parallels Lake Road to the
Right.
And east line's to the east of us.
This house is located in the town of Ballston,
Right.
and Ballston Lake, right on the lake at the north end on the the east side of that lake.
Yes.
Northeast corner.
Yep. In the north basin. The lake goes in 3 basins, with the middle one being probably the shortest, but the widest and more roundest part. The northern end is,
right.
I don't know, between a quarter and a half a mile wide, and then the southern end is the most narrowest and deepest.
Right.
And it used to be a part
Why don't you
of
walk
the
us
Mohawk
down to the
River.
lake? Walk us down the lake, because I think that's the only part we really haven't done. Okay?
Okay.
Let's take our chances. All right, we're walking all the way. We have not, by the way, we did not go to the back of Dad's property by any means. We went only halfway, but we are heading back down now. We'll walk down through the other driveway.
Yeah.
Through the driveway in the flower garden.
Let's go out this way then.
All right.
This is the way we have to drive up.
We're coming down to the creek. I used to write, I wrote poems about the first day, run to the spring and grab me a drink.
Yes. The creek actually is in our property, and then it crosses on the road to go down into the lake.
Here's the creek, and it was raining here when we cleared out the house the other day, and it was flowing through here.
It was.
But it's pretty dry now. It kind of very episodic.
And where we went into the woods at first, there was a little bridge, though it wasn't obvious. That was all underwater when we had the heavy rains and when we were clearing the house out.
Again, there's a Raney house. Okay, good. So now, who put in flowers?
These, I think, almost are wildflowers. I don't think.
Beautiful flowers. Don't know what kind. Plenty of wildflowers here. Plenty of wild animals too.
Yeah.
All right, there's the great garage, and again, the flower gardens from down below. You can see Alan and me. We helped Dad pave all this with his homemade cement mixer. Beautiful stuff. It's all going to be destroyed.
Yeah, the mixer's gone.
All going to be plowed in. And the mixer's gone. Well, because it has metallic value.
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. Maybe we put it out, they picked up one of them. But there's been a number of pickouts where we've gradually been cleaning the house out. Part of it while Dad was still alive.
All right. Crossing the road now.
You see a lot of the sumac along here.
When they plowed out that whole area, a lot of the dirt went over here and made the path down to the lake much broader, and that was actually, it turns out, one of the better ideas we did.
Yes.
Because it's really added to the value of the property. That poor maple tree is going to go too. It really needs to go, poor baby. That was called the climbing tree when I was a kid. Yeah. I wrote a poem from that one too.
There was also a big maple straight ahead. That's
a huge maple that used to be there.
Did some climbing in.
It says, the climbing to the great heights. How did that go? I forget how that poem went. Here we go down to the lake.
Now you can see the purple flowers. That's a species that's come in here more recently, and it's I think it's called fireweed or something like that. When you see these orange little flowers over here, is that like mock orange?
Here's the famous cattails.
Yes.
Oh, we used to have fun. There were elderberries all along here. We used to enjoy the elderberries. Here's the boat, still here.
Yep.
Look out for the bees and the ants. They're all still here too, probably. Okay. And we're getting up to the swamp now. This path is going to be fixed. Oh, there's some of that wonderful life, whatever that thing is.
I'm not too
enthused
see about walking the rest of the distance.
We're not going to walk the rest of the distance.
You just get up here and take a zoom in.
There's the froggy. Ah! Okay, here it is. You can't get there now. But we are going to get there before we sell off. We're going to make this path back because we have the rights to it. Because this is wetlands and that killed us.
Yes.
But because we had a pre-existing path, we've got a chance.
Yes.
So we're smart.
Yep.
We're broke, but we're smart.
Yep.
Okay? So this is it. Thank you. Thank you, Alan. Any more things you want to say about your childhood here? Earliest memories?
You want to talk about your boating experiences off our shore and the motor that you
That boat had a motor. I took it off because I was trolling on this first time and I hit a wood underneath it, broke the motor off. Then the lights, well, Judy decided to practice life-saving with his boat, flipped it over and had to drag it ashore and broke everything off. That's the boat after Judy was finished with it. Thank you, Judy.
I think it'll still work.
Okay.
Not up here.
So, it's been fun.
Yes.
You know, it really wasn't that depressing. Don't let me get you down. This was a lot of fun growing up here.
Yes. It's very
We were
nice.
loved. It was a good Christian home.
Yes.
And we wish you had had the chance to
Grow up here too.
grow up here too. Well,